Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Ashley and this is Martin Midlife Misadventures. Amy's not here today, but that's okay because we're talking some serious pantry business. You did read that title right, 20 plus things to hoard food now. And by hoard, okay, look, I don't mean go into a store and if they only have 20 of one thing on a shelf, buy all 20 of it. Absolutely not. You need to go to different stores. You need to be weekly or monthly, however your budget allows, slowly start picking up some items. Now, we do have some items that are going to be in very short supply, but in very high demand. So if you find them, you need to pick them up. These are only suggestions. These are foods that we personally, I'm not showing you or telling you to buy anything that we don't already have, okay? And because I don't want to steer you in any wrong direction, but we all have different tastes in food. So they're just suggestions, okay? Just suggestions. And I also want to say, what's the number one thing that we prep no matter what? Number one, water. Water, 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 bottled water, water for your toilet, water for washing clothes, okay? Purification methods for your water. Water is number one, and if you haven't jumped on that, please, by all means, do not buy one stitch of food until you have figured out how you're going to purify water, because that is super, super important. All right, everybody, grab a piece of paper, pen, pencil, and let's get started. All right, we're going to talk about one of the most important categories, in my opinion. Do you know that they are building the largest in the world, everybody, lab-grown meat facility here in the United States? Please, please stock up on your God-given meats while we still can. We've got some corned beef hash. I fry that up. Oh, we love corned beef hash, fried up with extra potatoes, onions, and everything. Same with these corned beefs. You can really stretch this into a huge meal if you add extra things to it when you fry it up. Vienna sausages are still very affordable, and we prefer the chicken ones, but there's tons of different flavors. Same with Spam. Tons of different flavors. Find one you like and stock up on it. In my opinion, Keystone meats are the best on the market. Absolute best tasting everything on the market, but they're very, very expensive. If you can afford it, though, you will not be disappointed. Stock up on these for your family. Next best thing to Keystone is canning it yourself. Find meats on sale, bring it home, and get it canned up. That's what I like to do. We also have some dehydrated meat. This is shredded chicken here. I do shredded chicken, ground beef, and ground turkey. It'll last forever as long as you keep it in a cool, dry place. We've got roast beef in the can. Both these brands are very, very good. This one's more expensive and probably a little bit more tasty, but just as good. I like to make burritos from these roast beef. That's my favorite thing to do. This white turkey came from the Dollar Tree about a year ago. I haven't been able to find it since, but if you can, it's worth it. It's delicious. They also make chicken bologna in a can. This is one big hunk of bologna. You can slice it any way you like. I slice it thin and fry it up for a fried bologna and mustard sandwich. You can also find sardines fairly inexpensive right now as well. I put this chicken breast here because I bought it a year ago for $2.50 in this particular can. I have not bought since because it's gone up to $3.95. They are pricing us out of meat, everyone. Please, one can at a time, one pouch at a time. Whatever you can do, stock up on these meats. The pouches now, you can get chicken and salmon, not just tuna fish, okay? And we have tons of cans of tuna fish. I think that's pretty self-explanatory at this time for being one of the most affordable canned meat. All right, friends, we got to talk about eggs, and this is so important. Every single one of us knows the price of eggs is just insane, okay? So what I like to do is reserve my eggs. We're lucky enough to get farm fresh eggs, okay? But I reserve them. I reserve them for eating, and when I'm baking, I use alternatives, like this Bob's Red Mill egg alternative, egg replacer. This is equal to 34 eggs, okay? And I can use this in all of my baking needs. It works fantastic. $3.75, okay? Check your big lots because this is a good way to use eggs in a different way. I also freeze eggs. I scramble 2 at a time up in a cup and then pour them in a baggie and put them in my freezer. That way I have eggs ready to go at any time for anything. And I only do this when I have an abundance. When I have a little bit too many eggs, I start putting a couple at a time away in the freezer. We also have Augustin Farms egg powder. I'm sorry I haven't shown it to you, but it's all stored underneath my trailer. So that is an option as well. But guys, it is so expensive. I really feel like at this point, we've got to watch for the egg sales, preserve the eggs in a different way, and use different replacements for our baking and things like that. And if you look on YouTube right now, there's a ton, I mean a ton of videos just on egg replacers. So please check it out. One of the most important categories right now if you're a potato lover, and that is your potatoes. And I'm telling you what, get some in the ground this year, okay? Let them get their little eyes on them and get them in the ground because they are going to be in short supply. If you can find them in a can, they come in whole tomatoes, diced tomatoes, sliced potatoes. Did I say tomatoes? Well, you get the point. Pick them up if you can find them, especially at a decent price in a can. You can also get mashed potatoes, and these are just the flakes, the plain mashed potato flakes. Now, let me tell you about these. These will last forever because there's nothing in it except potatoes. The ones that come in the little instant ones in the packages with flavors, those do go bad. I have tasted them and they are funky when they go bad. They usually last about a year past their best by date. But the regular plain mashed potatoes will last you forever as long as you seal them up and keep them out of the sunshine. You can also get these dehydrated potato shreds, potato slices, potato diced, all kinds through Augustin Farms and other emergency food companies, and they're excellent. Or you can make your own, okay? You can shred up your potato and put it in your dehydrator and make your own potato shreds. Or you can buy them frozen. This was Potatoes O'Brien, and bought them frozen, dehydrated them, and put them in a jar. These are homemade ones, diced up potatoes that I went ahead and parboiled just for like 2 minutes. Then I put them on the dehydrator, and now I have my dehydrated potatoes ready to go. Please do yourself a favor, and like I said, get you some potatoes planted this year and stock up on them in any way you can. Get all the tomatoes, any kind you can. I've got crushed tomatoes, stewed tomatoes, whole tomatoes, plain, no salt added tomato sauce, basil, garlic, oregano, tomato sauce, tomato paste. This is that homemade salsa that I showed you guys. This is some homemade tomato sauce, just tomatoes and salt, everybody, super easy. We've got some Southwest style petite diced tomatoes, some hot, this is like your Rotel, super good to have on hand, and my no salt added diced tomatoes. Oils, getting very high in price, so I recommend picking them up whenever you find a deal on them. This is just regular vegetable oil. This is the one I'm working from right now. We've got some grapeseed oil, sunflower oil. This is a canola and extra virgin oil. This is just olive oil, some coconut oil spray, any kind of cooking spray that you prefer, some coconut oil. We also stock essential oils, and let me tell you why. I'm learning a lot about making my own lotions, body butters, lip balms, things of that nature, and a drop of this goes a long way. And a lot of these oils have a lot of medicinal purposes as well, so I do recommend that you look into essential oils and get you some. Flour, all different types of shapes, sizes, types. Let's get into this. I have a 25-pound bag of all-purpose flour there. That's just to represent size, because right here I have a 5-pound bag of flour. Lately, it's been cheaper for me to buy it in 5 pounds than it is in 25 pounds, so do the math while you're at the store. I have a self-rising flour. That's another great flour to stock. Dark rye flour. Wouldn't that be a delicious, nice, crusty bread to make? I also carry chickpea flour and tapioca flour. These are gluten-free flours. If you have someone who's gluten intolerant in your family, our youngest son has a gluten intolerance, so we keep gluten-free on hand at all times. Back there is just a tub of whole wheat flour. That's what I'm using now. Now, I wanted to mention with the chickpea flour, if you stock chickpeas themselves, oh, kitty coming through, regular chickpeas, you can grind these into your own flour. And the same goes with the wheat. This is some hard red winter wheat. We can grind this into our own flours. So flour, get as much of it as you can and any types that you can. Dairy, this is another large category, so let's get into it. This is non-fat dry milk. Each one of these pouches will make you 1 quart of milk. They come 3 to a box from Great Value at Walmart. This is a great buy because if you protect this, it will last forever. This is a milk alternative by Augustin Farms. I have not actually tried this. The best by date is 2040 though, so that's really, really good. But any of these non-fat milks will last forever if you protect them. So there's this. We have some Nido. Now this is delicious. It's creamy. Amy actually uses this in her coffee every morning, and the one she's using right now is a year past expiration, and there's no problem with it. This, oh, kitty coming through. Sorry about that. This is by Augustin Farms as well. This is just an instant non-fat milk, just like the packets I showed you. It will last forever. Down here we have a buttermilk. This is a cultured buttermilk powder. You just mix it with water and you have buttermilk. This is something good to have on hand. Evaporated milk in the can. This lasts well past its expiration. Sweetened condensed milk in the can. This lasts past its expiration. In fact, as long as the can isn't damaged, it's just literally going to turn to caramel inside that can. Some Gosner boxed milk. We love this stuff. We're using some right now that is 8 months past its expiration. It's delicious. It's fine. This is a great investment. They have this at the Dollar Tree. We've got some Velveeta cheese sauce. I love keeping these pouches on hand. They're super convenient. You can make dips. You can make your macaroni and cheese. Pour it over a baked potato or broccoli like they have here. Very convenient to have. We also stock this Augustin Farms cheese blend powder. This best by date is 2031 on this. Now, if you don't want to spend the money for something like this, you can do it yourself. This is semi-dehydrated. In my dehydrator, it takes a very long time though, so I got very impatient with it. That is 2 pounds of cheese, believe it or not. So that's how concentrated it becomes. Butter. Butter is something we have a ton of in this form. But you also could buy ghee already made at the grocery store or make your own ghee, or you can even can butter. That's something I haven't tried, but I think I'm going to in the near future. Here's my favorite category, beans and rice and Jesus Christ, friends. That's all we need because it's incredibly versatile, okay? We've got white rice, which will last forever if you keep it dry and cool and keep it repackaged, okay? Get that stuff repackaged. Here I repackaged in a rice container. Keep all your containers and reuse them. You can get these instant rices, these side dishes from Knorr. They're seasoned perfectly and they're delicious, but they've gotten really, really pricey. So if you find them on sale, pick them up. They're very, very convenient. You can also make dehydrated rice. You heard me right. It's just minute rice like you buy in the box, but about 15 times cheaper to make it yourself. I did do a video on this, so I will link it in a card up above so you can check it out. Jasmine rice is still available in 1-pound bags at the Dollar Tree. It's a really good rice. You can get these yellow rices. These are so good to do inside your rice cooker. Throw broccoli, all kinds of vegetables in there while it's cooking. Oh, so delicious. And a great alternative to white rice is parboiled rice. We do not stock brown rice because we have had it go rancid on us. So we started stocking parboiled rice. It's healthier than white rice, so if any of you have health restrictions, please check with your doctor and ask them if parboiled rice may be a good option for you in moderation, because from what I've looked into, I think it's a pretty good deal. The beans, again, so many different ways that you can store them and keep them if you are not into canning. I have some canned beans here, some black-eyed peas, pinto beans, black beans. I like to do that so I have beans ready to go. These hard beans take a long time to cook. If you have a pressure cooker, you're good to go. But it's always good to have some ready to eat, just in case you can't be cooking these up. And if you're not into canning, and even if you are, I recommend everybody have some canned beans. Just look for them cheap, pick them up, have them on hand, because they're incredibly, incredibly versatile. And then here, even garbanzo beans. Now, one thing I love about garbanzo beans is you can make hummus out of this. It's something different. You can make hummus out of black beans. So look into it, everyone. The beans are just, you've just got to be able to flavor them. So that's why we're going to talk about some seasonings. All right, we need seasonings, lots of seasonings. There's no way I'm going to be able to go through all the different types of seasonings. But the point here is flavor. What can we flavor our food with, especially those beans and rice, right? So these are just a few seasonings. Most of them are up on my spice rack. But you also can buy these packets of gravy mixes, country gravy, chicken gravy, turkey gravy, brown gravy. You can buy Italian dressing mixes. These can also be used for marinades and rubs. Different kinds of dips you can buy, ranch dips. I'm sure you're getting the idea. It's all about flavor. But the number one most important spice is salt. The average adult consumes 5 pounds of salt a year. Please look it up, because this is important. And it's something very easy to get a year's supply of, because salt is still pretty affordable. So stock up on some salt for your family. All right, friends, coffee. Pardon the licky-loo next door here. Okay, coffee is going to be in short demand, and the prices are probably going to continue to increase. So if you can find coffee, pick it up. We find this Chestnut Hill. This one was $6.95. We find it at the Family Dollar, and it's been a great alternative for us, because here a 2-pound container of Folgers is $16.99 on sale. I just cannot bring myself to pay that price. You can also buy instant coffees. This one came from the Dollar Tree, and I have to be honest, I haven't tried it, and I had a lot of people in the comments tell me it was awful. So I need to give that one a try before I recommend it. But you can find this at the Dollar Tree. I have, however, tried these Nescafes. Look at this doggy. Now, these Nescafes are good, especially when you're wanting a nice hot cup of coffee, okay? These are convenient. You can put them in your bug-out bag, your purse, wherever. They're great. We like to stock these as well. Now, the reason we like these bricks of espresso, one, you can find them for $1.25 at Dollar Tree, but these work great in our French press. We only use the French press in the summertime, because in the wintertime we have all our water turned off to the trailer, so we have no running water, and the French press is a pain in the booty to clean if you don't have water. So we reserve these for the French press in the summer, and we use our cup over little filter with the regular coffee in the winter. Please excuse the way my hands look. Believe me, they've been scrubbed. It's from working on the wood stove. Another thing you should look at are some other hot beverages, if that's what you're into. We've got apple ciders, cocos, you get the idea. And of course, teas. Any kind of teas that you may like will be an awesome addition to your prepper pantry. All right, sugar. All kinds of sugar, whatever kind of sugar you prefer. And yes, you can turn granulated sugar into brown sugar and confectioner sugar. Confectioner sugar, you just whip it in your blender and add a little cornstarch, and you'll have a great confectioner sugar. White sugar, and you add molasses to it, and you can make your light and dark brown sugars. Molasses is kind of expensive and hard to find for us right now. We have 1 jar in the pantry. So I'm okay with going ahead and buying them all pre-made and ready to go. Please do yourself a favor and stock up on that sugar. vinegars of all kinds that you can get your hands on. White vinegar is going to be your best bet for everything because you're also going to have a cleaning agent by having this. So I recommend gallons and gallons of white vinegar. We also like to have malt vinegar, red wine vinegar, rice vinegar. The balsamic vinegar we use primarily for our marinades and our salad dressings, and good old apple cider vinegar. You can't go wrong. Stock up on vinegars. Canned vegetables, everyone. If you can stock up on them, do it. If you're growing a garden, great. I grow gardens too, but I also stock up on canned vegetables. I canned my own green beans from my garden last year, but I also have a ton of canned green beans. Last year I also canned carrots, but I also bought a ton of carrots. It's security. You never know. I don't know what my crop's going to do this year either, so I'm glad I have backups. Mixed vegetables, sweet peas, whole corn, and this is dehydrated, again, from frozen vegetables, okay? This is about 10 pounds of vegetables in this one jar, and I use them all the time for my soups, my stews, sometimes just to dehydrate by themselves. But I'm telling you, dehydration, if storage is an issue for you, if you need to condense things down, dehydrate. So anyway, keep going with the canned vegetables. You cannot go wrong. And even if you are canning your own, have a couple backups, okay? Because you just never know. All right, friends, let's talk about pasta, all different kinds. You can get minestrone soups like this, Bear Creek. There's other brands of it as well. These are super great because all you do is add water and boil it. You can get hamburger helpers. These are always good, and don't limit yourself to just adding meat to these. I've added vegetables, all kinds of different vegetables, especially broccoli and cauliflower, and you can even sneak some kale in there and just do all kinds of yummy things with this. Peas go well in it. You get the point. Get you some hamburger helpers. Ramen noodles. I know we all have probably an abundance of ramen noodles, but again, they're versatile. They cook quickly too. You can even cook ramen by pouring lukewarm water over it. You've just got to let it sit for a while. Now your dried hard pastas, get whatever kind you prefer. I personally prefer penne pasta, but I am now switching to stocking up on as much of the long pasta as I can because it stores better. I can fit twice as much in the same amount of space as I could with my penne pasta. These pasta sides, these are great. Again, Knorr sides, I've added meat, vegetables, all kinds of stuff to these sides. They can be stretched, but they're getting pricey. If you find them on sale, pick you some up because the convenience is absolutely worth it. Canned fruit. Very, very important. I don't know about you, but last year we had a very short supply, and what our stores did have, it was very expensive, that fresh fruit. So stock up on some canned fruit in case we have a repeat of last year, and I think it's going to be a little worse than what we had last year, okay? I do want to point this out. Look at this. I paid $1.98 for this. The expiration date is 7/23. I bought this 2 years ago, okay? 2 years ago I bought this for $1.98. So I'm curious, does anybody know what a 48-ounce container of Great Value applesauce costs now? I'm just curious if it's gone up. But anyway, remember about the pineapple. Pineapple can become compromised. It's the only thing that's ever been compromised inside of my pantry. And I think the can was like 6 months past its date. So please keep an eye on your pineapple dates and stock up on some canned fruits, the ones that your family likes. Peanut butter, any kind you can get your hands on. Super high in protein, delicious, and very good for you. You can also get peanut butter powder, same thing, super high in protein, delicious, and good for you, and this is going to last a lot longer than these cans here. For our bug out bags and get home bags, we like these little packets of Skippy. It's the perfect size, lots of protein, good on the go. Honey, any kind of honey. Get your honey, it'll last forever. We also have honey powder. This one expires, or best by date, is 2051. Another great option to have on hand for a sweetener. Real honey, natural honey is always going to be the better choice. We like these honeys. We found these years ago at Big Lots. And this is what we like to put in our bug out bags, kind of like this Skippy here. Now, jams and jellies, all kinds. If you make it yourself, fantastic. If you buy it cheap at the store, fantastic. But jam is more than just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or to smear on your toast. You can use it for baking. You can use it as a sweetener in your teas. There's just, so you can you can melt them. You can melt them in a pan and turn them into syrups to put over your waffles and pancakes. Lots of options. I highly, highly, highly recommend either making it yourself or picking you up a bunch of jam. All right, everybody, how about that list? And I know that there's a million more things we can add to it, so go ahead and start putting them in the comments, okay? We all bounce ideas off of one another. I've gotten so many ideas from you guys, I cannot even begin to tell you, and I know that you're communicating with one another, and that is fantastic. This is our list. These are the things that we stock, and there are a million more things, okay? Like I said, we're going to have to do a separate video just for baking because it's such an incredibly huge category, and it's my favorite thing to do, so I couldn't make it small. I just couldn't figure out how to make it small. But those convenience items, cake mixes, pudding mixes, things of that nature, those are very great to have on hand as well. So, like I said, water first, and then fill your pantry with food you and your family are going to enjoy. And do not be afraid to try something new. You may like it, and it may be fairly inexpensive, and you might be able to stock up on a bunch of it. Thank you all so much for your love and your support. Please give us a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe, and we are going to be talking to you really soon. God bless you all.